The U.S. holiday break is over, and the UFC is back for its final pay-per-view of the year. UFC 310 is this weekend, and I am going to give you my favorite PrizePicks entry. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say more or less than any of the numbers you see on the screen, and you can win a bunch of money. The best part is they will give you free money to play. The only thing you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, use promo code WWP, then build yourself a nice little entry for $5. I'm about to give you one. And then they will instantly give you 50. You spend 5, they give you 50. Win or lose, $50 instantly in your account. You can use that for whatever you want. And then just keep snowballing that money. That's what we do here. We take the free and we turn it into a ton of free. But either way, get the free money. WeWantPicks.com/prizepicks, promo code WWP. This is daily fantasy. It's not betting. It's not a casino. It's daily fantasy, which means it is legal almost everywhere. So you have a ton of flexibility. It's a ton of fun. You can do it from an app on your phone or head over to the website. Just get your free money, make the account, and then you can dabble. I am going to focus squarely on UFC 310, but you can see across the top here, this is all sports. And I also noticed today they added Power Slap. I really could give an absolute shit about Power Slap. But if you care about it, here you go. How many? Look at this. Total slaps. 6.5. That's so funny. Either way, we're going to focus on UFC. You can mix and match sports. So I'm going to give you an entry for UFC. But if you are an aficionado in another sport and baseball or basketball's your thing and the NFL, you know exactly what the hell you're doing, you can mix and match to really maximize your payout. Let's go ahead and dive in. WeWantPicks.com/prizepicks. I got to be honest. I'm not loving a lot of these lines. We'll start with significant strikes. We'll work our way over. I do have a 3-entry lineup that I've got going, but I don't love any of these significant strike lines. Kennedy and Nchukwu could knock out Lucas Bresky in 2 punches. That absolutely could happen. We also saw Kennedy and Nchukwu messing around with a 48-year-old man in a fight that went to a decision when he was a minus 550 favorite. So he is somewhat unreliable, and I can't go ahead and add that entry. Clay Guida, Chase Cooper is another weird situation. They have already fought each other. Well, it was a grappling match. They grappled. Chase Cooper submitted Clay Guida effortlessly very early. And if somehow this ends up on the ground early, it could be more of the same. Or Clay Guida doesn't initiate any wrestling, and this ends up a kickboxing match. And all of a sudden, Chase Hooper is going to land 100 significant strikes instead of the 5 that he would land if it ended up on the ground. So that's another weird one. Max Griffin, Michael Chiesa. The more on the Max Griffin line actually makes some sense to me. He does hit pretty hard. He's a pretty tough guy. He can make things happen. And Michael Chiesa has mediocre takedowns, if you will. I do think Michael Chiesa can squeak out a win here, get a couple of takedowns, but Max might land a bunch of punches along the way. So the more on his might be good. Again, I don't love a lot of these significant strike lines because these fights are all in weird situations. Bryce Mitchell's fighting a guy who absolutely sucks. Guy sucks, but he's a very good grappler, and so is Bryce. So this just might be a hugging match for 15 full minutes. Pantoja, I do have a lineup with him, but we're going to talk about his takedowns. Same with Shavkat Rakhmonov. So we're going to ignore the significant strikes. I don't love any of these. If you want to go to my website, wewantpicks.com, we have something called the Prop Hunter. That's going to give you every single fight on the card, how many strikes they land on average, how many strikes they land in a decision, also how many strikes they are hit with, how many they absorb on average and absorb in a decision. So you can see all that information. If you use another tool called the Data Analyzer, you can see it by wins, losses, whatever you want. And that may help you here, but I'm going to go ahead and just keep this nice and simple for myself. If we look at fight minutes, another weird situation. Chase Hooper submitted Clay Guida in like a minute and a half. More the same, or could be 15 full minutes. Shavkat Rakhmonov, they are giving Ian Gary a ton of respect here, making this 16 and a half minutes. Shavkat's never fought that long, ever. He has never once ever fought that long. And they're saying he will here. And that line has moved. It was a lower number and it has moved up. So people are saying the more there. This is a 5-round co-main event. And if you do think that Ian Gary can survive as nobody else ever has before, then the more might make sense. But if you think this is Shavkat doing Shavkat things, then do the less. Nate the Train, the guy almost gets knocked out in every fight and then grinds forward. We're going to leave that one alone. Fantasy score, what I like to do with fantasy score is find a favorite that I think gets smoked or a favorite that I don't think they're giving enough credit to here that deserves a ton more points. Somebody who's going to win by finish. And if I'm looking across the slate here, none of these are out of whack. Bryce Mitchell should win this fight, but I think he's going to win this fight just a decision. He's not going to finish Kron Gracie. I think he can take down Kron Gracie, avoid the chaos, point fight on the feet, but he's not going to submit him. So this low fantasy score makes a lot of sense. Nate Landwehr, probably not finishing the Korean Superboy either. Alexandre Pantoja, this is one where the more might be good because he's going to get 1 million takedowns, in my opinion, which is why we're going to takedowns. My entire lineup lives and breathes in the takedowns. I'm going to tell you right now, you are missing one. I will show you what I did. And if you're a premium member, you saw my entry. You hit it when I placed it. They have removed the line off the table. But by the time you're watching this, that line might be back. I am going to do the more on both of these. I think Themba Gorimbo takes down Vicente Luque a bunch of times. I think there's going to be a bunch of takedowns here. I don't think he's going to pitter-patter strike. I don't think he's going to distance strike. I think he's going to take down Vicente Luque. We watched Bilal Muhammad meet Vicente Luque doing that. Just takedown, 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 takedown. And we've seen Themba Gorimbo in his last 2 fights become a die-hard wrestler, a forward pressure grappler. So I think that's just a perfect recipe there. He's fighting the best person he's ever fought before. He's fighting a tried and true veteran. And if he's been wrestling this much lately, I think he's going to get back to that, stay safe, feel more comfortable on the ground, shoot the takedowns. Alexandre Pantoja, 0 questions what's happening in that fight. 0. Kai Asakura, his opponent, hits like a freight train. Phenomenal striker, lightning fast, very aggressive, makes things happen. So Alexandre Pantoja is 100% without question going to get this to the ground. And I think he's going to do it far more than 3 times. For reference, his last fight, he had 9 takedowns. And that was against like an Australian national champion wrestler. So I think Alexandre Pantoja cruises past the 3 takedowns. That line is actually one of my most comfortable ones on this card. If we look at my lineups, I had those 2 and then Shavkat. You see Shavkat's no longer available. 1.5 takedowns. I think he's going to get at least 2 takedowns in this fight. And they may add that line back. So keep an eye on it. Maybe they might even lower it, right? Maybe I'm the anomaly here picking the higher. I think Ian Gary obviously has been working quite a bit on his jiu-jitsu, both offensively and defensively, training with Shooter Box, being in Brazil, doing all of those things will only benefit his ability to not be submitted and his ability to stand back up if he's taken down. So the Shavkat 1.5 takedown line felt like a gift, and maybe it was, and that's why they removed it. So this is my lineup. This is what I built. Given the Shavkat line is gone, I still am confident in the over on the takedown lines for both Themba Gorimbo and Alexandre Pantoja. If you love this line, great. If you don't, that's fine too. Go ahead and build your own entry. Just get the free money. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks, promo code WWP.